Today, Stone is talking with a gaming agent who secured deals with brands like Walmart and ExpressVPN, Alex Melendez. His clients include creators like Halite, Stony Stark, Pac-Man, and many more. In this video, you'll learn exactly how to get signed by agents like this and how to get your own brand deals. First, let's have Stone ask Alex the number one thing that he looks for when he's signing someone. Check it out.
Alex, what's one philosophy that you have, obviously kind of being on the agent side of it as well, that you believe helps creators be successful in what they're trying to do?
I usually only work with people who can look at a problem and go, okay, what do I need to fix on my end to make myself better as a person, as a content creator? So for me, it's work ethic. But if I see somebody as a work ethic, no matter what their size is, Shady and Czar and Pac-Man, I had them. Pac-Man was a little bit bigger when I signed them, but Shady and Czar were like 200K on TikTok and like 100K maybe on YouTube, like 50K for Shady. Now Czar's almost at 1 million on YouTube. Shady's at like 1.2, 1.4 million on TikTok. So work ethic for sure is one of the big things I'd say is the philosophy I live by. Is you have to have that or you won't even come close to succeeding in this space.
Now that you understand how important work ethic is, let's talk about another key factor, engagement. That's why this video sponsor O made this app to interact with your audience live. And it's got very unique ways where you can create challenges, quizzes. You can have your fans that actually tune in and interact with you and send in their own video submission. And it's also built by former Twitch executives, so they really understand what it means to create interactivity. There's going to be a link to the app in the description, and I really encourage you to check it out, play around with it, and see about fun ways that you can engage with your community on the app.
On the flip side of that, what are some challenges that creators have that inhibits them in becoming successful?
I think the biggest thing, it's even a challenge in my own life, is their own mind, overthinking, getting in their own head. Everybody says when you're streaming, don't look at numbers, don't look at this stuff, but you have to be able to have thick skin in this space. And if you don't, it can get really, really hard because you see low numbers. And if you refuse to look at the analytics, you can't see what's going wrong or what's going right, but look at it in an objective sense and look inwards, like what can they do again to be better and not just blame everything on extraneous circumstances.
We asked our pipeline Twitter community as well some questions, so I got a couple from them that I'd love to ask you as well here.
Yeah.
Since we're speaking to kind of the talent side, when should a creator start thinking about even getting an agent in the first place? You know, especially if they're just starting out, or maybe they've been even doing it for a couple of years. Like, what is kind of that point for you where you start even considering bringing people on?
It's when content creators feel or streamers feel that they're in a place where they can perform and bring value to brands. And it's funny, you can get creative with it. Like I do a lot of UCG campaigns with some of my smaller talents because a good agent will find deals for people who aren't even the biggest as well. It really all depends on how serious they are. If they're doing this full time, if this is something they're ready to take the leap, they're going to need to find somebody that can make money for them. It's a lot to manage their inbox, to do outreach, especially when they don't know where to start. I've had brand deals where the emails are 150 emails, or the brand deals will go over 6 months, and it's just negotiating, talking back and forth. A lot of corporate stuff with brands, unfortunately, that happens a ton in space. Talents don't have time to worry about that or constantly thinking about what is the next spot with that brand deal or manage a lot. 95% of the stuff I get in the inbox for these talents are nothing, like it's horrible, but I still have to respond and go through it. And, you know, it's the comparison I like to talk about is, I mean, I can mow my own grass, right? But if my time's more valuable doing other things, I'm going to have somebody else do it for me. I'm sure they could manage their inboxes and do negotiations and do their brand deals, but just because they can, they should be focusing all their time on actually creating content. I wouldn't put a number on it, you know, because everything's different. Halite had me as a manager when he was at 5 followers or 10 followers, whatever it was.
If you're going to a talent agent like yourself, what things would a creator kind of need to even present to you?
For me, it's honestly their personality. It's, can I talk to them and look at the time and go, oh, wow, like we're 30 minutes over the call? Or is it short answers? Are they elaborating? Are they making facial contact? Are they paying attention? I have an agency where it's not just volume based, right? I'm not just signing anybody and everybody saying here's your brand deal, go do what you need to do. And I create almost like a mini family. Usually before I sign somebody, I internally discuss with my team, with my talents, you know, what are your thoughts on this person? Everybody I have is through a recommendation of somebody else. I signed Big E, and Big Rob was super adamant talking about Big E, and I gave him a look, and he was an incredible creator too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And the same thing with Shady and Czar. When I first was recruiting, I think it was Shady at first, but he said anything with me is a package with Czar. And then pretty much anything that's a package with us is a package with Smith Doggy. And I said, okay, you know, if that's how it's going to work, that's how it's going to work. Talked to all three of them, and I really liked all three of them. And I talked to Pac-Man before. He was friends with them, and Pac-Man's like, they're great dudes. Pac-Man approves. They're all here. Makes a ton of sense. And then same thing, Halite, Goj, Modern Warzone, they were all friends beforehand, so it kind of meshes. And gaming is so tight-knit already. So if you do wrong by one gamer, you're doing wrong by a ton. We want to make sure we have the right people in the organization, and then it's just literally natural synergy.
That's awesome, man. From a streamer's perspective, how do they find a reliable agent or management team? Like, what's some of the things that they should be looking at you for?
Biggest red flag for me is a monthly fee, because there's no guarantee. Like, we tell our talents we have the term is XYZ and they can terminate at any time. And we mean it when they say that. Like, you're not bird caged into our agreements. Anytime an agency might try and like take a cut of what you're already doing, I'd say like always look out for that in agency. Read what you're signing, because I've seen it way too many times in space where people sign stuff with agencies or brands and they just don't read their contracts, or they don't get somebody to read their contracts, and they're signing something away that they don't realize they're signing away, or like they have a deal already and they sign it, and all of a sudden that agency's getting that deal that the talent secured themselves. Get recommendations from other people in the space. Like, don't just be like, oh, this is the agent for this agency. Talk to other people. Find that agency, find their talent list, and see who they have under that umbrella and get their opinion on. Don't be afraid to ask that talent and say, what's your experience with this agency?
Alex, thank you so much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it.
If you enjoyed that video, watch this one next. And if you want to go pro as a creator, join Pipeline to get the tools and knowledge to be a successful streamer. Just click the link in the description below.